Welcome back to the podcast. In today's episode, we're talking about how to get interviews without meeting every requirement. So, this episode is for you. If you've ever read a job description, you felt excited, then you talked yourself out of applying because you didn't meet every single requirement. If you've ever experienced this, you're going to love this episode. So, today I'm going to talk about what you're actually meant to do when you see a job description, you see you're not the perfect match on paper, and how to deal with it. Because let's be honest, the people that are actually getting jobs are not getting jobs because they meet 100% of the requirements. They're getting jobs because they understand how hiring works. So in today's episode, I'm going to break down the 3-step plan you should be using to approach job descriptions that you feel you aren't 100% qualified for. So let's talk about the root cause. The root cause is, as Black women, we have been brought up to always be the best. If you're African, you might have heard the phrase, do they have two heads? Meaning, if they can achieve it, you can achieve it too. So we're always being told to be the best we can be. We're always being told to make sure we are qualified, to make sure we are the best, we're top of the class, we are the staff performer in the team. And that trickles on to other opportunities we want to go for in our career. When we see other opportunities we want to go for, instead of saying, okay, I'll go for it, we're quickly saying, okay, I need to get an MBA, I need to do a course, I need to get qualified, I need to wait to get more experience. We have been taught and brought up to be the best, so we always feel like we aren't good enough. We feel like we always need to better ourselves before we can go for what we want. And that could be further from the truth when it comes to applying for jobs. If you only apply to jobs when you're 100% qualified for the jobs, that means you're counting yourself out of so many amazing opportunities, whether that's more senior roles, management opportunities, moves to new industries or new company types that you haven't explored before. If you're only waiting to be 100% perfect, you are counting yourself out. So I just want you to bear that in mind, because you may have grown up trying to always be the best, always trying to be qualified, always wanting to be the star. While that's good, it might be stopping you from actually getting what you want because you're trying to be perfect. So here's why I want to share a mindset shift for you. When you see a job description, I don't want you to think about it as a checklist. I want you to think about it as a wish list. When a hiring manager is writing a job description, they're writing what they would like in a perfect world. But let's be honest, that person doesn't even exist. It's just a list of requirements, a list of qualifications, a list of desired qualities they would like a good candidate to have. So instead of aiming to have 100% of those qualities, I want you to aim for 60% instead. And this is what really helps my clients actually move forward in their job search. Many of my clients are counting themselves out of roles before they work with me. And then when they work with me, they realize that they actually have all the skills and all the experience it takes to actually go for the roles they want. So we do this thing together where when we look at job descriptions, we're actually saying, can you do 60% of what's on this list? And if you can, we work together to help you work through your applications, work through your CV, work through your LinkedIn to position yourself for that role. Many of my clients are in that situation where they start the program, talk themselves out of so many roles, and when we work together, we go for those roles and they just start getting more interviews. So if it's possible for them, it's also possible for you. So now let's get into the 3-step plan for getting interviews even though you don't feel all the way qualified. The first step is I want you to separate must-haves from nice-to-haves. A lot of people are confusing must-haves with nice-to-haves. When you look at a job description, not every single thing is a must-have. When you want to figure out what's a must-have, I want you to think about these 3 things. Think about the skills that are mentioned multiple times in the job description. If they want someone that has good analysis skills and they're mentioning it over and over again, then you know analysis skills are something that are important to the job, not just a nice-to-have. I want you to focus on the responsibilities listed on top, the order in which it's listed, and also the differences in the type of responsibilities. There's some responsibilities that may be grouped together and similar, and some that could be way different. Based on what's there in the majority, you'll know what's more important and what's a must-have and what's a nice-to-have. The next thing I want you to focus on is I want you to actually focus on not the job title, not the responsibilities, but the problem the role wants you to solve. If it's very clear that that role is all about stakeholder management or managing clients, and you've done similar at your company where you manage internal clients or you manage vendors, they're all in the same family. So if you've solved similar problems such as working with people in different parties, it's definitely something you can do. So as long as the skill is mentioned multiple times, there are grouped responsibilities, and you can clearly identify the problems that the job description wants you to solve. If your experience has a good match for that, I would tell you to apply because those are must-haves. If the nice to haves are there and you don't have all the nice to haves, that's fine. I want you to still apply for the role. And that's what really makes the difference for my clients, because they join my program thinking they can't apply to all these jobs, or maybe they've been applying and not getting the jobs. But when we work together, we're able to separate the must-haves and nice-to-haves and help them position their experience to actually get the interview. The second step of the plan is to focus on your ability and not tools. This is where most people are disqualifying themselves from opportunities. They go on a job description, they see a list of softwares or some technologies that they're not so familiar with, but they are familiar with the ability that that tool or technology gives them. Hiring managers are really writing what they're writing because they want you to be able to learn the software when you join in the job. But as long as you know the essence of what that software is actually letting you do, you can learn it on the job. Think about it this way. If you've led projects, then you can definitely use the software that's going to help you lead projects. If you analyze data, then you can definitely learn the dashboards that are going to help you analyze that data. If you've managed stakeholders, you can then use the software that's going to help you manage those clients. So I don't want you to focus so much on what the tools are and if you've used them before. I want you to focus on the ability that those tools help you do. And I want you to focus on the fact that if I've done this, I can then justify in my application why I'm a good candidate for the role. So your job in this whole hiring process is to translate your experience and make it relevant, right? And I support you to do that in one-to-one coaching, because right now you might be thinking, I haven't used this, and this. However, I'll see all the times in your experience where you've done those things and how we can position it in your application. So the third part of the plan of getting more interviews when you don't feel qualified is focusing on outcomes, not gaps. A lot of people are starting off their hiring process only focusing on what they don't have, but not capitalizing on what they do have. And that's where coaching really comes in, because I'm able to help you figure out, based on your experience, what are the most relevant pieces of experience, what are the most impressive achievements that any company would want to hire you for. So when you think about focusing on outcomes and not gaps, I want you to think of these three questions. What problems have I solved that are similar to what this job is asking for? What results have I driven that matter to this company? And where have I quickly learned before and can show that I'm a quick learner and I can learn really quickly? Once we're able to identify those three things, which is something I help you look through in your experience, in the current CV you have, I will look through what you have actually done in your career and help you use industry-specific language to position yourselves for the roles you want, whether or not you've done it before, because we focus on the outcomes and not the gaps. So those are the three things we work on together in one-to-one coaching. I help you separate the must-haves from the nice-to-haves, so you capitalize on the must-haves and position yourself to get more interviews. I help you focus on your ability and not the tools, so you're able to focus on what you can do. And last piece is I help you position your experience around outcomes and no gaps. And this is what makes a real difference when you're applying to jobs you haven't done before, because that's what gets you the interview, because you're focusing on what you do have and you're showcasing the best piece of experiences you have. So let's talk about the price of waiting, the price of not applying for these jobs. You might be telling yourself right now that I want to make sure I end this year in a new job. But if you are waiting and spending time applying for new courses to join or waiting to get more experience in your current team, all these roles and all these ideas for your career are going to stay on your wish list, are going to stay on your vision board and not happen. I would rather you spend that time focusing on getting this help you need to make sure that you can get these roles you want. And this is what my one-to-one coaching is designed around. It's specifically for Black women who want to secure higher paying and more fulfilling roles in their industry of choice that gives them a 10K to 50K salary increase. How we help you do this is we walk you through the roles and support you through finding the roles that match your skills, match your goals, and can actually pay you well. After this, we support you through the application phase. So I work with you personally to review all your applications, review your CV, your cover letter, your LinkedIn profile. So you're positioned for these roles you want, whether they're more senior roles, manager roles, or even roles in new industries. I help you prep for interviews. So we work together one-to-one to prepare you for the interview, to make sure you're showing off your most confident self and showcasing your experience in the best light. And then I support you when you get the offer. So when you get the job offer is when a lot of people get tired and they just accept any offer presented to them. In my coaching program, I help you negotiate the best offer you've ever had so you get a 10K to 50K salary increase, improved benefits, perks, and also the flexibility you need to actually enjoy your career. My one-to-one coaching program is open for enrollment and I would love to work with you. Head to the link in the show notes to book a call to work with me. On this call, we get to learn a little bit about each other. I get to learn more about your career, what drives you and where you are stuck, and the kind of career you want to build next. And then I talk you through how one-to-one coaching supports you to actually get that career you want. I will talk you through how you'll get supported over 3 months of working with me to secure a new, higher paying and more fulfilling role. Book a call to work with me. The link is in the show notes. I am so excited to work with you, and I'll see you in the next episode.